I forgot how to start this. Yeah. Hi, you guys. My name is Carrie, and this is Book for Romance. And it has been a really long time since I had put out a video. And I was sitting around today and I figured, you know what? I haven't seen you guys in a while, and I wanted to put one out and see just show you what I've been doing. And yeah, so let's get to it. Really, I can't say a lot has been going on. The last time you guys heard from me, I've moved. So I've moved into a new house, which now we've been here for like 9-10 months, and I finally feel settled in. But for the most part, it's been kind of, busy with the kids and getting things settled in. I mean, for me, it takes about a year to settle in somewhere. I don't know about you guys, but it takes a while. But yeah, I've read a ton of books this year. I don't know what your guys' Goodreads looks like, but my Goodreads looks pretty good. I'm scrolling through it right now. I'm at 259 books for the year, so I'm pretty proud about that. Like, I know some other Bookstagrammers get to like the 500, 600 mark, but that's just not plausible with my life. But I'm pretty proud with my 250, 300-ish books. So I feel like that's pretty good for myself, and I'm really happy with it. I've read some really good stuff. I've read some really good books. I've read some books that have been okay, and I've read some books that I'm like, no. So I'm kind of all over the spectrum. I want to let you guys know that I'm going to go through a couple books today that I wanted to talk about with you guys, tell you what I've been doing with the year, and then also let you guys know that I'm probably going to be trying to put up a YouTube video once a month, because that's plausible for me. Unfortunately, with how hectic my life is, with my kids being in sports and them being younger, it's harder for me to get the time to be like, okay, everyone quiet while mommy does a YouTube video. So yes, this is what I'm able to do for right now. Hopefully I could up the videos next year, but yeah, so plan on seeing a video about once a month. But anyways, let's get to it. I'm very excited to talk about the books. I have a couple books spread out here that I wanted to discuss with you guys. Things I've read, things I've really enjoyed. Yeah, but before we get started with that, there's a couple books I just want to show you guys that I actually ended up purchasing this year. One of them is Dear Ava by, is it Isla Madden Mills, I think is how you say her first name. I'm almost positive I rated this book about a 4-star, maybe a little higher, like a 4.2 star. But I bought this book because look at this cover. I mean, isn't this like the cutest cover? If I really enjoy a book, because I am pretty sure I read this on audio, I will end up purchasing a book. So if it's a 5-star for me, I will actually get a physical copy, because if I ever run into that author, I'd like them to eventually sign the books. So Miss Madden Mills, I will be hunting you down eventually someday to sign this book. I thought it was adorable. This is actually a really cute read. I highly recommend it. I was gonna do a reread of it, but I haven't gotten a chance because I feel like everything else kind of gets added to my TBR and I get distracted. So I kind of divert from the side, but I wish I could tell you something about this book. That's why I was gonna do a reread on it, but I read so many books in a year, I don't remember it very well or at all. So I just remember that I really enjoyed it, and I am definitely going to give this one a reread just so I can remember some of it. So anyway, there is Dear Ava. The next one I want to talk to you guys about is, okay, so a good friend of mine, Christy, for my birthday, ended up getting me this book. And I have to admit, if you follow me on Instagram, I am on there all the time. Like, I will put my link down below, but I'm on Instagram like once a day, if not once every other day. So if you want to be more active with what I'm reading at the time I'm reading it, I am on there a ton, because it's just easier to get on there, kind of like flip through. Instagram takes about 10 minutes, where YouTube takes me about quite a few hours. So just the time alone hence why I'm able to post more on there. But I had a good friend named Christy, or her name is Christy, and she sent me something for my birthday. And if you guys know, I love Kerrigan Byrne. I love the Highwaymen series. Totally recommend dark historical romance. Well, I think it was the 7th book in the series. She ended up switching the cover because she went to a different publisher and she discontinued this cover. Well, my friend Christy ended up finding me this cover and sent it to me for my birthday. So this was such a treasure. I just wanted to show you guys this because I'm so happy to have a physical copy of this book. If you guys find a physical copy of this book, buy it because it's very hard to find. You really can't find them anymore. So this is definitely a treasure to have. Highly recommend the Highwaymen series. Now, what I've been reading for the year, like what I started with, you know what? We're going to just talk about a few books because I'm going to be on every month and I will go through everything I've read throughout the year and we'll just continue with that. So you guys can kind of see what I've been reading and what I've really enjoyed, what I've kind of been disappointed with. So here we go. The first one is Lana. I'm not going to even attempt to say her last name because I am terrible with names, but it's the trilogy Season of the Wolf. Now, this trilogy was fantastic. It was friggin' fantastic. I loved it. If you are a fan of Sarah J. Maas, which I know some of you are if you follow me, this was awesome. Like it starts out in a world where it's really, it's along the premise of if the world were to have like a nuclear winter, everyone was frozen and 2,000 years later, there was Fae that developed. And it's not like normal Fae. It's like, she did like a hybrid thing where it's like a Fae wolf, and then she does Fae vampires, and then she also does like really interesting characters in this. There's other Fae that are like really like, I forget what she calls them, but it's like they're like the most lethal Fae. I think I'm getting my characters mixed up with other books, but there's quite a few different types of Fae. And slowly this well, which is like the overall being of this world, is slowly unmelting humans. And the humans have like Fae abilities. They have powers. So this is really, really good. I highly recommend it. You have enemies to lovers. You have fated mates. So good. I highly recommend this book. And then she's coming out with more in the series and I'm here for it. Like I can't get enough of it. Highly recommend. So yeah, moving on to another one that I just absolutely enjoyed, which it's really weird. I'm reading like a lot of like wolf shifter romances, but I'm going to just put it right here. It's called Wolfgang Wild by Julia Cross. I mean, if you haven't seen this before or run into it in the romance book community, where have you been? But it's been a while. And you know what? If this is on your TBR, which it was on mine, I was kicking myself. I did not start it sooner. Like I should have started this like 3 years ago when it first came out, but I finally got to it and it was so good. I'm finally on book 3. I think it's Witches Get Stitches, and the whole thing is totally cute. Book 1 is about a wolf who is kind of locked in himself. Like he can't like transform into his wolf form, which is driving him crazy to the point where he's talking to himself in like a second person. Like his wolf is talking to himself, and it's getting to the point where it's like he's going mad. So he enlists the help of a witch, and it kind of goes from there. So it's really good. I highly recommend. I absolutely enjoy the series. And on a fun note, like, because this was like pre me reading her books, Juliet Cross was doing an ARC, like look for people who would read her ARCs, and like an ARC team, we'll call it an ARC team, which that's what it's called. And once I read the first book, I hopped on there. I'm like, I want to be part of her ARC team, because if she's this good and I enjoy it this much, like I want to see what she's writing first, you know? And she ended up picking me. So I'm very, very excited. So you'll hear on this YouTube channel and on my IG account of like things coming up for her, things I really enjoyed, things that, yeah, I'm just really excited to see what she has in store. So very excited about that. Okay, so the next book I'm going to talk about, guys, is no surprise here. It's Bombshell by Sarah McLean. Now, I won this lovely book from Tori and Wendy, and I'm so excited because I didn't have the physical copy of this book. I had like the special edition. I had ended up getting this one from the book box, but I ended up like going in their giveaway and I ended up getting it. I'm going to list their IG account down below. And I was really excited to get the original cover, and then I have the special edition. But I have to be honest, guys, like I didn't love it. Like, it's hard because when I love an author, I tend to put them at like a higher level. I expect more from them. And if I feel like the books haven't measured up to their old kind of like standard, I will rate it a little lower. This book to me was like around a 3.5. And if you know, for me, that's a really lower rating than what I'm used to giving. It was just okay. Like, there was nothing about it that stood out from her other books, but I still love her as an author. I definitely will still continue with this series because I want to know about the other bombshells. But at the end of the day, like, it was not something that I would rave about. But continuing with Wendy and Tori's giveaway, they ended up giving me a Taylor Swift signed CD, which was awesome because I only thought I was getting the book, but they gave me a Taylor Swift signed CD. And then I also, in the giveaway, was a book from, I think, Cressley Cole. So I was like, whoa, I'm getting all this other stuff. And I was just assuming that I would win Bombshell. So thank you guys for that. Really appreciate it. That was awesome. It was fun to get a little like, yay, I won something. So there is that. Okay, so then going back to the other books I want to talk about, guys, because I feel like I haven't seen you in forever. But okay, so I read a book and I absolutely enjoyed it so much. And I'm going to place it right here. It's The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. And you guys, okay, this has been hyped up so much, but you guys, I'm for the hype. I am literally there. I loved it. It was so good. It was so good. I loved it. I loved everything about it. I highly recommend this book. This is this author's debut book, so keep that in mind. But it was so good. You have literally a girl, she's a scientist, so she's incredibly smart, and she ends up dating this guy, and you know, sometimes it just doesn't work out. And I totally get that. So she realized that the guy she was dating wasn't really that into her. He was more into her friend. But her friend is not willing to date her ex-boyfriend. So she ends up pretending to date one of the professors so that her friend will eventually go out with her ex-boyfriend. And I just loved the premise of it. It was so freaking cute. I need to talk to Alicia from Alicia Reads Romance because she did not enjoy it as much as I did. And I need to know why. Because this to me was amazing. I loved it. I was totally there for the hype. I think this is the one book I did end up giving a total of 5 stars. And I don't hand out 5 stars lightly. Usually I loved a book, it would get like a 4.5, 4.8. It will not reach that 5-star level, and this did. I really did enjoy it. So good, so cute. She's actually coming out with 3 novellas, which I cannot wait to read. And they're coming out in audiobook. And I totally recommend everything I'm recommending to you is in audiobook right now, except for what was it? The Season of the Wolf, I think it was. I physically read those copies. I'm starting to physically read more books because they're not available in audiobook. So I'm having to sit down and read them, which is great. You know, it just, with being a mom, my time frame is very limited. So that was amazing. I totally enjoyed that book. So The Love Hypothesis was absolutely to die for. Another book here, it's a Not So Meek Cute by Megan Quinn. I just read this book. I have to admit, I was not a huge fan of it. I don't know why, like everybody, and I do get it. Like Megan Quinn is kind of like a hit or miss for some people, and I think that has to do with me. This book got a 3 stars in my eyes. Now, let me premise it by this way. If you don't read like 300 books a year or 200 books or even 100 books a year, if you read like 20 books a year, you might really enjoy this book. Not gonna lie. But for me, it just felt like I read it before. And it's one of those things too, where I was kind of disappointed in certain areas. Because, like when they said like a Not So Meek Cute, I expected it to be like the Meek Cute to be like hilarious, like totally funny, like blew me away. But a Not So Meek Cute means like it was like a standard Meek Cute. Like he walked out of the store and they bumped into each other. Not even bumped, they just like started talking. Like it was very lackluster, I guess was a good way to put it. And then I also put, they were trying to play off Pretty Woman. And if you're from my generation, you know, like everybody knows Pretty Woman, not even just from my generation, but it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know, it just fell flat for me. So that was a Not So Meek Cute. But this was the first time I read Megan Quinn. So my friend was like, okay, Christy from Christy Reads a Lot. And I know I heard this on Bree's channel from Bree from In Love and Words. They had both mentioned this series, and it was the Getting Lucky series. So I'm going to put it right here, The Second Chance. And this series actually is really, really adorable. I have to admit, I really love the series. Really cute. 4 stars for the second book, 4.5 stars 4 stars for the first book, 4.5 stars for the second book. It was really a cute series. They have like this family text thread of like these 4 brothers and this sister like going through, and it's just hilarious. It's so funny. So I think for, like I had said before, Megan Quinn is kind of like a hit or miss for me. Because here's the thing. Like, if you read an author and you end up not liking the first book you read from them, chances are you're never going to pick them up again. So it's nice to get recommendations for an author, because then I feel like you're giving them a fair shot. And then if you really love them, go back and read their backlogs or whatever, you know? But I feel like reading that first one from Megan Quinn made it to where maybe I wouldn't have read her again. So I'm glad I gave her another chance. But yeah, so that was from Megan Quinn. And then of course, I'm going to end here with Lauren Rowe, because we're getting to the bigger numbers of you guys watching this, and I want to keep you guys to where there's stuff in the future months. But, I read Lauren Rowe's Swoon, and I loved it. It was so cute. I absolutely adored this book. This got a 4.5 stars from me. I love all of her audiobooks. This was, Caleb this isn't Caleb. This is Colin. I'm sorry. Okay, this is Colin, and he is the third in the band of Dax's band who hasn't gotten a girl yet. So if you want to go back and read the other one, Dax is the head singer and he is in Rockstar. You have, I want to say Fish, who's in Smitten, which is my all-time favorite. And then you have Colin, which is this one in Swoon. But I have to admit this. And I know Lauren Rowe is going to eventually write this book. I just know it. But Caleb needs a redemption arc. And I'm just going to throw that out there. It's not spoiling anything for anybody. But yeah, Caleb needs a redemption arc. I just am throwing that out there right now. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see that. But yes, that was kind of the last book I was going to talk about, guys. I have to admit, I've missed all of you. I feel like it's been forever since I've done anything like this. I definitely am going to try to get on once a month, like I had said before. So please like and subscribe if that's something you guys want to hang out with me and talk books. I know a lot of these books have been out and about already. I'll try to find new books that you guys haven't read before. But yeah, pretty much that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll talk soon. Bye, guys.